Hello, it's J-Dog John Karshman. Boy, the temperatures have come down a bit, and wet and cold is always a little bit tougher than just cold. I think so anyway. But it's not terribly cold. Gosh, the rest of the country is having some really tough times, and we're just inconvenienced. Guys, let's talk about some. Let's talk about some not European pears. Let's talk about some Asian pears, because there's a question I have that I don't quite understand. Now, Asian pears also need a pollinator if you're thinking about doing Asian pears. And by the way, an Asian pear, instead of having that pear-shaped European shape, European pear-shaped, the Asian pears have more of a round apple shape to them. And I think they are very, very tasty. Now, some folks will say, well, that's a cross between an apple and a pear in taste. But I think it's more, when I bite into it, it's crispy like an apple, has a little bit of texture and maybe a little bit of taste like a pear, but it definitely has for me, it's like an added watermelon taste to it. So it's watermelon, pear, and apple, and I think they're just delicious. Now, here's my question is, why are they so expensive in the grocery stores? I mean, they're $1.98, $2.98 for a fruit. Yet out in the real world, off of a tree, you can get hundreds and hundreds of fruit on them. So I don't know why. Maybe there's just not enough producers. But just a question I have about the world. So hey, an option for you, by the way. Now you can pick out your favorite Asian pear. Hosui. Hosui is a great variety of Asian pear, and it's the number one pear in Japan. Although it is a Asian pears generally come from Korea, but Hosui is a number one Japanese variety. What was I saying? Oh, what you can do is, if you have a Bartlett pear, a European pear in your garden, that will cross-pollinate an Asian pear. Another option, of course, is going with the four-way Asian pear. Now, there's some very minute, slight differences in taste, in texture, and coloring in the Asian pears, but it's not something that I could really tell you. If you line them all up, I probably couldn't tell you, because I haven't eaten that many, and the variances are much tighter, closer, kind of like a really, really fine wine, should I say. Kind of. So the different types of them I won't go over. There's here I've got. I'm reading this backwards. It is Chinko, the Kikisui, the Hosui, the 20th century pear. All of them are, I can tell you from experiences, that all of them are great fresh eating. Another thing, they're really heavy bearers. So if you like a lot of fruit, these are the ones to go for. Another thing to think about, by the way, is, now I told you earlier that generally on a fruit tree, it takes 5 years before it produces fruit. So when you buy them in a garden center, they're on year 3. So you're planting them, you got 2 years from now before you have fruit. But on the Asian pears, oftentimes you get a good handful as it goes on. So they're very early producers. Another question, why would they be so expensive? But anyway, that's the show for the day, guys. Just some tips for you. If you're thinking about Asian pear, that's what I'm going to do this year. Oh, here is your thought for the day. When we do the best we can, we never know what miracle is wrought in our life or the life of another. Thank you very much, Helen Keller. Guys, that's the show. Always live your passion.
See me right out of the sunset.